Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about this clown Gilbert Arenas and some comments I heard him make about Scottie Pippen and Allen Iverson and how he believes that he would rather have Allen Iverson's career because Allen Iverson will be remembered more than Scottie Pippen will be. And I laughed when I heard that because all I hear from Gilbert Arenas is him bringing up Scottie Pippen. All I hear is everyone bringing up Scottie Pippen. I don't hear anyone talking about Allen Iverson. So we're going to talk about in this video because once again, this guy Gilbert Arenas contradicts himself and he's a complete hypocrite, man. Doesn't make any sense. He'd rather have Allen Iverson's career than Scottie Pippen's career because Allen Iverson will be remembered more in his opinion. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled, man. Much respect to all you guys out there, man. I want to send a special thanks out to my man Kay coming through with the super thanks. Thank you very much for your continued support, man. Like I said, you guys truly humble me, man. Shout out to JB was here coming through. The Titan Born. Roland Curtis. Thank you to all you guys, man. You guys continue to show my channel love, man. It means a lot. It's truly humbling, guys. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I want to talk about some comments I heard from Gilbert Arenas. And I really enjoy going at Gilbert Arenas because Gilbert Arenas is one of those guys that thinks he's smarter than everybody else. He thinks he's wittier than everyone, right? He thinks that he always got something funny to say. He really does. He really believes that he's got the, oh, I got you, right? When you listen to that fool speak, when they were talking about that Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant stuff, when you listen to that clown speak, he really thought he was saying something out there. He really thought he was talking something profound. Oh, man, he was being talked about the next Pippen. Like, I mean, the dude is just a straight clown. Like I said, his show, Gil's Arena, is a joke, man. It's a Golden Girls soap opera. Nothing but drama on there. These guys are always arguing and bickering like a bunch of teenage girls, man. That's all it is. These guys contradict themselves, and they're a bunch of hypocrites on that podcast. So I heard these comments from from Gilbert Arenas talking about Allen Iverson and Scottie Pippen, and him saying that he would rather have Allen Iverson's career than Scottie Pippen's. Now, I think most of us would agree that Allen Iverson is the greater overall player on the rankings of NBA's history. I think most people would put Allen Iverson above Scottie Pippen. But when we think about the comments that Gilbert Arenas is making, this is not necessarily about who's the greater player all time and him having Allen Iverson above Scottie Pippen. Have no problem with that. I would put Allen Iverson above Scottie Pippen, and I'm sure most of you would. However, what Gilbert Arenas is talking about in this comment, he's talking about who will be remembered more. Remember, that's what he's saying. So I wrote this quote down, guys, word for word. This is what he said. He is going to be remembered more, talking about Allen Iverson over Scottie Pippen, and this is part of the reasoning why he would rather have Allen Iverson's career than Scottie Pippen's career. He says this. He's going to be remembered more because his background says he was a top player in the NBA. He was an MVP winner. He said some other stuff there, but that's pretty much the gist of what he's getting at. Allen Iverson, he says, will be remembered more than Scottie Pippen because Allen Iverson was a top player in the league. He was an MVP winner, according to Gilbert Arenas. Now, right off the jump, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said, coming from Gilbert Arenas, it doesn't make any sense. Because if Gilbert Arenas is going to claim that Allen Iverson is going to be remembered more than Scottie Pippen, I think just that statement alone, yes, you would think that, right? Yes, Allen Iverson would be remembered more than Scottie Pippen because Allen Iverson, to me, obviously is a greater player, but he was much more iconic than Scottie Pippen was. What he meant to the game in the early 2000s, what he meant to culture, the swag of Allen Iverson, his game, the crossover, the shoes, the chains, the jerseys, the do-rags, all of this stuff, the tattoos. This is now what Allen Iverson brought to the NBA. Scottie Pippen ain't known for none of this stuff, man. So when we talk about the icon of Allen Iverson, Scottie Pippen can't touch the icon. of Allen Iverson. Scottie Pippen don't have legendary shoes like Allen Iverson, and I like some of Scottie Pippen's sneakers. There's ain't knock on his kicks. But once again, he don't have the transcendent game of an Allen Iverson or the iconic game of an Allen Iverson. And once again, he does not have anywhere near the kind of swag. Like I said, he's not cool like Allen Iverson. So just off of that, yes, you would think Allen Iverson absolutely will be remembered more than Scottie Pippen. But when we think about Gilbert Arenas saying this, it doesn't add up, because every chance that he gets, Gilbert Arenas brings up Scottie Pippen. Every time you turn on the TV, they're talking about Scottie Pippen. Everywhere you look, Scottie Pippen this, Scottie Pippen that, Scottie Pippen here, Scottie Pippen there. Scottie Pippen was the greatest player. Scottie Pippen was better than this. Scottie Pippen was carrying Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan couldn't do nothing without Scottie Pippen. All you hear is Scottie Pippen's name. Just the other day, Gilbert Arenas said that Kobe Bryant was being called the next Pippen. Even though he can't give you any proof of this, he can't give you any audio or video of anyone worth a damn saying this. What is he going to do? He's going to quote some Facebook fans? He's going to quote some 14-year-old kids that were calling Kobe Bryant the next Pippen? Are you going to start quoting these clowns from GOAT James Kingdom, Gilbert Arenas? There's no audio, no one doing this. So, on one hand, Gilbert Arenas will say that Kobe Bryant's the next Pippen, once again bringing Scottie Pippen's name up in the conversation for no reason. There was no reason for Gilbert Arenas to mention Scottie Pippen's name there, but he brought up Scottie Pippen. Why? Because it seems to me, for someone like Gilbert Arenas, he remembers Scottie Pippen more than Allen Iverson. And why does Gilbert Arenas remember Scottie Pippen more? Why does Nick Wright bring up Scottie Pippen more than Allen Iverson? Why does Colin Cowherd bring up Scottie Pippen more than Allen Iverson? Why does Kendrick Perkins bring up Scottie Pippen more than Allen Iverson? Why is Isaiah Thomas bringing up Scottie Pippen more than Allen Iverson? Why are all these people bringing up Scottie Pippen way more than I hear Allen Iverson's name ever brought up? Why? And because Michael Jordan, guys, Scottie Pippen is remembered, Gilbert Arenas, remembered more than Allen Iverson because of Michael Jordan. Because fools like you are trying to take away from Michael Jordan's legacy by bigging up Scottie Pippen. Let's make no mistakes about this, ladies and gentlemen. The only reason they mention Scottie Pippen now, to this day, why he's remembered more, he's more relevant than Allen Iverson, is because of Michael Jordan, guys. Them trying to take away from Michael Jordan. They're not giving Scottie Pippen credit. They're not trying to big him up. They're not trying to, push him because he deserves to be higher on the all-time rankings. No, they're only bigging him up to boost him up so that it can seem as if Michael Jordan played with the greatest player in the 90s, essentially now. So, Gilbert Arenas, you make no sense when you say, I'd rather have Allen Iverson's career because he's going to be remembered more. Meanwhile, you bring up Scottie Pippen more than Allen Iverson than you ever have. I never hear anyone bring up Allen Iverson anymore. They never talk about Allen Iverson. I've mentioned Allen Iverson on my channel probably more than ESPN has mentioned Allen Iverson in the last 10 seasons. I've heard Scottie Pippen's name more than just about anyone. I mean, almost as much as Michael Jordan's name. Almost as much as LeBron James' name is Scottie Pippen. So Scottie Pippen seems to be way more relevant than he should be. And this is what we're talking about. He's only relevant in these conversations this much because of Michael Jordan, guys. Michael Jordan helped his teammates to be remembered more. Meanwhile, LeBron James and his teammates, they're not remembered LeBron James teammates. They're torn down. They're being remembered as being less than, while Scottie Pippen's being remembered more than. He's being remembered for being better than Allen Iverson, apparently, according to Gilbert Arenas, because Gilbert Arenas said that Allen Iverson would be remembered more because he's an MVP winner. He was one of the top players in the league. But all I keep hearing is Scottie Pippen was one of the top players of the league in the 90s when he played there, even though I've told you, I do not believe he was a top 10 player of the 90s. There's just no way you can go down the list of the number one guys that were leading their teams consistently for years. And Scottie Pippen wasn't doing that. I'm not putting him above Reggie Miller. I'm not putting him above Clyde Drexler. I'm not putting him above Dominique Wilkins. I'm not putting him above John Stockton or Gary Payton. I'm not putting him above these guys. So we all know that he's not above Karl Malone or Charles Barkley or Hakeem Olajuwon or David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, right? He's not above those guys, Shaquille O'Neal's, but he's also not above those guys. So once again, we have to understand something and really look at the totality of the 90s. But Gilbert Arenas comes across as a complete hypocrite, as he always does, right? He's just stupid, or he comes across as a hypocrite. That's really the both sides of Gilbert Arenas. Either something stupid he says, or he contradicts himself. That's both sides of his show. That's all it is to it. So he'll say that Allen Iverson will be remembered more because he was an MVP winner, and he's going to be remembered as being one of the great players in the league. Well, they're trying to remember Scottie Pippen. You would think Scottie Pippen was an MVP winner the way that they talk about Scottie Pippen, the way that Gilbert Arenas talks about Scottie Pippen and Kobe Bryant being the next Pippen, the way that Isaiah Thomas talks about Scottie Pippen and him saving Michael Jordan, the way the LeBron James fans talk about Scottie Pippen. He seems to be remembered more, much more, than a lot of the great players. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Hakeem Olajuwon. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than David Robinson. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Charles Barkley. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Karl Malone. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Clyde Drexler, more than Reggie Miller, more than Gary Payton, more than Dominique Wilkins. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than all these guys that he played in the same era with, that he's not greater than. They bring up Scottie Pippen more. Why? Because of Michael Jordan. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Bill Russell. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than George Mikan. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Bob Cousy. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Bob Pettit. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Oscar Robertson, more than Willis Reed, more than Nate Thurman, more than John Havlicek, more than Dr. J, more than Moses Malone. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than all of these guys. Wes Unseld, Artis Gilmore, Elvin Hayes, Walt Bellamy. You don't hear none of these guys' names, but you hear Scottie Pippen. They talk about Scottie Pippen more than Steve Nash, more than Jason Kidd, more than Allen Iverson, more than Tracy McGrady, more than Yao Ming, more than Alonzo Mourning, more than Dikembe Mutombo, more than Dirk Nowitzki, more than Tim Duncan, more than Jerry West, more than Elgin Baylor, right? They talk about Scottie Pippen more than all of these guys. They talk about Scottie Pippen literally just as much as Michael Jordan, because every time they mention Michael Jordan, they have to mention Scottie Pippen. So Scottie Pippen's remembered more than Kevin McHale, more than Robert Parrish. He's talked about more than Larry Bird. He's talked about more than Magic Johnson. I mean, my goodness, what are we talking about here? Those are the facts. He's talked about more than Kevin Garnett, more than Dwayne Wade, more than Paul Pierce. He's talked about more than all of these guys. All of them. Scottie Pippen's name is still being brought up every single day. Every time you go on social media, you see Scottie Pippen's name. You see a picture of Scottie Pippen. Someone's mentioning Scottie Pippen, but not to big up Scottie Pippen, not to give him the credit that he didn't get, just so they can take away from Michael Jordan, guys. So once again, Michael Jordan is so great. His teammates are remembered for being greater than they are, and just being remembered in general, much more than a lot of these other great players are. No one mentions a lot of these guys that I just named, but every day we hear Scottie Pippen, Scottie Pippen, Scottie Pippen. From Gilbert Arenas, from guys like Colin Cowherd, from the Shannon Sharps, right? From the Nick Wrights. So I don't know what Gilbert Arenas is talking about when he says, I'd rather have Allen Iverson's career because he'll be remembered more. Why don't you just say, I'd rather have Allen Iverson's career because he was the greater player? That's all you have to say, because those are the facts. Because Allen Iverson's not being remembered more than Scottie Pippen, and that's the sad reality for a lot of these great players. They're not being remembered because everyone wants to make it about LeBron James. Everybody wants to make it about tearing down Michael Jordan by giving someone like Scottie Pippen credit and tearing down an entire era. It doesn't make sense to me how Michael Jordan played against no competition. The 90s was so weak, but yet Scottie Pippen was so great. It doesn't make sense. It's hypocritical. It's contradictory to what they're telling you. The 90s was watered down, it was weak, but Scottie Pippen was so great. How can it be both? It's not, guys. These are the facts. Someone like Gilbert Arenas don't know what he's talking about, man. And I love Allen Iverson, and I think Allen Iverson was the greater player, but he's not being remembered more than Scottie Pippen, guys, and we know why that is. Michael Jordan, that's the key, guys. Remember, this guy Gilbert Arenas, straight clown. You're a straight fool, Gilbert Arenas. And like I said, for anyone to think that this guy is giving you the facts, or it's his opinion, he can feel that way, it doesn't make sense. It's not your opinion when it doesn't make sense. You can't just have an opinion. That's not how it works. And like I said, if you want to have an opinion in the privacy of your home, that's great. But once you start putting your voice out, making videos, having a podcast, trying to put your opinion out to other people and push your opinion, then you must be able to support that opinion with facts and evidence. And Gilbert Arenas, by all accounts, it's been shown over the last several years now that Scottie Pippen was obviously being remembered for being greater than he was, and obviously being remembered more than someone like Allen Iverson. But Gilbert Arenas says that Allen Iverson is going to be remembered more. No one talks about Allen Iverson like that. Not as much as they talk about Scottie Pippen. And that's a sad reality, guys. You guys know the deal. I'll catch you guys on the next one.